Mr. Patel, does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's not a complicated question. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I didn't say it was a complicated question. I just didn't hear you, so my apologies. We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released.
All right, so let's go through that. You're referring to court orders that prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to when you say as the law allows?
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence do those three court orders you cited prohibit from being released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited in fashion.
Wrong. Okay. That's not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that. There are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders.
They are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are, so your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
Never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the search warrants executed at the time, the overwhelming majority of that video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims. But if there are videos that relate to others who Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe Prince Andrew, or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it exists.
And so why haven't you released it?
Why are you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
you're saying that none of the videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been examined for the last 10 years. And every single video has been utilized for whatever prosecutions were able to be legally brought.
Goldman came in with one of the simplest questions a law and order focused FBI Director Kash Patel should ever be able to answer. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files? And right from that moment, you could see Patel shifting, dodging, buying time. For a question that direct, the hesitation alone is telling. Goldman was doing what an actual prosecutor does: cut through the noise, focus on the facts, and get a witness to either answer the question or expose their unwillingness to. Patel tried to claim that everything legally releasable has been released, but Goldman immediately drilled into the inconsistency.
I'm not asking about prosecutions. I'm asking about why you aren't releasing the full Epstein files, including the names of people who were involved in the sex ring that you promised to do before you became FBI director.
I just told you, I'm not going to release downloaded porn of
I'm not
children
asking
on the
about
internet.
that. Fine. I'm asking about all the other files.
What other videos? Tell me. Tell me.
That's what I'm asking.
Tell me.
You're saying there are no videos that would be relevant to anyone else involved in the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring.
Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you that stuff.
That's all we got.
I'm not asking all you got. I'm asking you in that stuff. There's nothing that's related to any other sex traffic, any other people engaged with Epstein in underage sex.
That's correct. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Let's talk about the witness interviews. 302s of witness interviews. Those are not subject to the court order. Those are not subject to any fictional sealed order for a search warrant. Why aren't you releasing those with the redacted names of the victims?
We are releasing as much as legally allowed. That's why we went back to the courts.
How is that not legally allowed?
Sir, do you know how court orders work? Do you know how protective orders work?
Actually, Mr. Patel, I was a real prosecutor for 10 years. I know exactly how.
So I was a fake one?
And I want to understand what the court order prevents you from releasing witness statements that the FBI took.
You should know that as a real prosecutor, when the court hand downs a protective order and a motion to seal, the material is sealed unless that judge waives it.
Your testimony here is that all of those witness statements are under a court order, a protective order.
We are providing everything we can legally provide.
No, that's not my question. My question is, why are those witness statements that are not grand jury testimony, that if they were under a protective order are no longer under a protective order, Why are they not being released?
How are they not
And
under protective?
why are you not going to the court like you did for the grand jury testimony to unseal those records?
The DOJ did go to the court.
No, not on those records. Why aren't you going? You just went on grand jury.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
You are hiding the Epstein files, Mr.
Time of the
Patel.
gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
The 3 court orders Patel likes to cite do not cover the majority of evidence the public is demanding transparency on. Dan Goldman's exchange with Kash Patel wasn't just tense, it was one of the clearest examples yet of why transparency around the Epstein files still matters, and why many lawmakers believe Patel is stonewalling instead of serving the public interest. Goldman highlights this because Patel's explanation doesn't align with how protective orders or grand jury rules actually work. And that's important for viewers to understand. Protective orders don't automatically cover everything. Agencies routinely seek to modify or lift them when there's compelling public interest. The DOJ already knows how to do that. Patel's testimony suggests he's choosing not to. Goldman also exposes another critical point. Patel keeps insisting that all relevant Epstein videos and photos only involve illegal content or downloaded porn, but that claim doesn't align with years of reporting, witness accounts, court testimony, named associates, flight logs, and victim statements that describe a far wider network than just Epstein himself. Goldman's framing matters because he's forcing Patel to confront the possibility that he's withholding evidence that could implicate individuals with enormous political power or influence, including foreign royalty and former U.S. political figures. Throughout the exchange, Patel keeps acting as if Goldman is inventing facts. But Goldman is basing his questions on publicly known evidence: the Maxwell interview transcripts, the witness 302s, and the fact that the FBI spent thousands of hours reviewing material that Patel now claims holds nothing of relevance beyond what's already public. Viewers should understand how extraordinary that claim is. Agencies don't spend a decade combing through files for nothing. They certainly don't shield the names of powerful people for no reason. Goldman pushes on the witness statements because they're not grand jury testimony. They're not sealed by default. And Patel never explains why these interviews, non-victim, non-incriminating statements, aren't being released in redacted form as he promised when he was nominated. This is the heart of the tension. Patel made a commitment to transparency, but now uses evasions, legal misrepresentations, and circular arguments to avoid naming who Epstein trafficked to, or acknowledging whether the FBI even pursued those leads. Goldman calling himself a real prosecutor wasn't an insult. It was a reminder that he knows exactly how this system works, and Patel's excuses don't add up. When Goldman says Patel is hiding the Epstein files, that's not political theater. It's pointing out a pattern: selective disclosure, evasive testimony, and a refusal to even meet with victims who've requested to speak with him. And viewers should notice how quickly Patel pivots to the emotional defense. How dare anyone suggest he's part of a cover-up? But emotional outrage is not a substitute for transparency. Goldman isn't accusing Patel of protecting abusers for sport. He's highlighting inconsistencies and broken promises that have real consequences for victims who have waited decades for accountability. The deeper issue here is bigger than Epstein. It's about whether institutions that are supposed to protect the vulnerable and uphold justice are being manipulated to protect the powerful. It's about whether a politically installed FBI director is withholding information that could embarrass or implicate figures within his own political orbit. And it's about whether Congress will allow those patterns to continue or finally force sunlight into institutions that have operated in the shadows for too long. If you value real accountability, if you believe victims deserve answers, and if you think the justice system should never bend to protect the powerful, make sure you're subscribed. This fight isn't going anywhere, and we're going to continue breaking down every moment that reveals where truth is being protected and where it's being hidden.